Good morning. The time is 00:26 midnight. This is a short presentation on my application developed using C# on Visual Studio. I will take you through the entire process, starting with a simple step of installation, and we'll take it from there. First things first, what you need to do is make sure that you have disabled your antivirus, because it's possible that it blocks the application. The other thing that you have to do is make sure that your smart screen, if you're using Windows, which is a built-in Windows protector to guard against apps which are not of recognized publishers, disable smart screen, and I guarantee you that the application will run as smooth as possible. Now, there is the folder containing the application. What you have to do, the first thing is go to the setup file and open the setup file by double clicking on it. This will initiate the installation process and proceed by clicking on install. This will fire up the application on completion. Upon completion, the application should just fire up just like that, and let's just wait for the application to boot up, and this is taking a while, longer than expected. And yes, the application will fire up just like that, and what you have to do now is make sure that it can open, because if it doesn't open, what you have to do is just let's assume it did not fire up immediately. What you get is it's an icon, more of a shortcut of the application on the desktop, and what you can do is double click on the desktop and navigate to any URL that you want. The idea behind this project was to return the HTML content between a web call of the client and the server. Now, the first thing that we can do is type in a valid URL. A valid URL is maybe something like youtube.com, and if you notice, this application was designed in such a way that as you type, it auto suggests certain possible URLs you may want to visit. For example, let's maybe type A, it gives you all the list of possible URLs that you might want to visit, Alipay, AliExpress and all that, but it's not, the list is not the entire URLs in the world. It's just some form of database to help the user type in quicker and to avoid errors as well. For my favorite URL maybe would be something like let's go to Disney. Why not go, let's check Disney. Is Disney here? No, Disney is not here, but we can type it in. But for now, let's avoid Disney. Let's just go to YouTube. If we click on YouTube, we should get a loading page alert here, which shows us the page is loading, and here we have a text box area which shows how long it took for the application to return the HTML contents, how long the communication took between the client and the server. And here we notice it's 2000 milliseconds, which is approximately 2 seconds. It took a bit longer than what I expected. Usually it takes about less, like maybe 1 second, half of that. And now what can we do from this page? Well, in this interface there is so much you can do. First things first, let's look at the history. If you click on the history tab, you will see all the previous sites you have visited, and here you can see the first site we have gone to is YouTube at around, this is the time of the visit, 00:29. that is 3 minutes after I started this video. Yes, and this history uses what we call the data grid view, and it uses the data binding source as the object of a history class. It's a bit technical, I will try to make it simple. Basically, you have an object that is created and it is passed through a constructor, and after it passed through the constructor, it will be split in such a way that each part goes to its section here in the history. That's the process flow of creating this data grid view. So it will split it using the @ sign as we read it from the database, and then display it appropriately here. Now, this is what you can do in the history. It's possible that you delete the history with this clear button here, but you'll get a prompt if whether you want to delete the history permanently, because this will erase it permanently from the database. And if you're sure that you want to delete the history, click on yes. If you're not sure, click on no. For now, I'm not sure, so I'll just avoid it. One other cool feature is the favorites. The faves folder contains all your favorite sites that you've listed. For now, I still have these two favorites. For now, let me just delete them to start from scratch. It's not fair that I have them. And what we need to do is we need to reload the favorites. Now it's empty, we've deleted them. I've actually shown you how to delete the favorites doing that, but I'll repeat the process again. But let's assume we wanted to add YouTube as our favorite. All we have to do is click on add, and we'll get a process loading simulation which is managed by a thread. There's a thread managing the simulation to kind of simulate a loading process, and after which maybe about 3 or 4 seconds we should get a confirmation of a successful URL addition to our database in the favorites folder. If we click on add, the simulation process starts and we get the confirmation that it was successfully added. And if we go back to favorites, we should find it in our favorites. Now let's repeat again the process of deletion. All you have to do is highlight on the instance of a favorite object, and this is this row here, this, and then click on delete. It asks you if you are sure that you want to delete it from your face. Click on yes, and you'll get a notification that it was deleted, and you have to reload the favorites in order to see that effect. So if we reload the favorites, now YouTube is not there anymore, but I don't like my favorites empty. Let me add one favorite URL that I like, is Alibaba. Who doesn't like Alibaba? Anyway, yeah, this is the other my favorite URL, so I'll just add it to the favorites. Like I said, the same process, it happens again. And here we get the status code of the current page, and if it's okay, if it's not found or not, because it's possible to get a different status code. For example, if we go to Google Leads, let's just try to find Google Leads. It gives a different result. As you can see, it's a not found, and it displays all the information regarding that error. It's a not found, which is a 404 error, which is displayed here. And yeah, I think that's about it. And the other buttons that we have is perhaps navigating back to the home page, which leaves us with takes us completely to the home page, exiting the view HTML interface. And let's just go back again to our interface, and perhaps deal with some issues again. And yeah, the other possible things that we can do, for example, given our history, the possible history that we've went to, let's start from scratch. Let's delete all the entire history and pay attention. Let's pay attention here. I'm going to go to google.com. I went to Google, and it's added to the history, of course. Now I'm going to go to office.com. Pay attention. I go to office.com, it went to office.com. Now I'm going to go to youtube.com. Pay attention. These are the 3 websites that we visited. Remember, we went to Google, we went to Office, and then we went to YouTube. Google, Office, YouTube. Now this button here will take you back to the previous site you went to. For example, you went to the previous one, went was Office, yes, and now we expect Google in YouTube. Yeah, I meant, yeah, we expect YouTube, because the last one we went to was YouTube. My mistake. And then if we go back again, we expect to get Office, and then if we go back again, we expect to get YouTube. Yes, if we go back, navigate backwards again, we get Office. Navigate backwards, we get YouTube. Yes, exactly how expected. It was just my minor mistake. So this is the purpose of these buttons. This one, it takes you back to the previous URL you have visited. So it assumes that you have visited several URLs before pressing this button. Like you have gone to Google, you have gone to YouTube, you have gone to Office. Now you are at Office, you want to go back to YouTube, you want to go back to Google. Now when you are at Google, if you want to traverse back now to the last URL you went to before pressing this button, you press the green button, which is the right arrow. So don't be alarmed by this. Now let's talk a little bit about the error handling of the application. Let's go back to the home page. For example, a user might type something a little bit bizarre like that, and what happens is you get a notification that the URL was invalid. So you need to type something similar to www.something.com, and just click on OK, and then repeat the process, but this time with the valid URL. So all you have to do is type the valid URL, and then proceed. It will get a notification of a page loading, and then the same thing happens again. Now everything is similar to what we've done. Maybe it's best if we look a little bit at the code. This is independent of the application. Let's look a little bit at the code. Unfortunately, I'm just loading this now, and my computer didn't close the application properly. Let's look at some of the core features included in the code, such as while it's loading, I'll just play around with the application as well. Yeah, like I said, this is just the favorites. It's also absolutely customizable. Something that I left to mention is you can rearrange the columns the way you prefer. For example, if you want the URL of this side, if you want the in this side, you can rearrange, which adjust the code in as well. Now let's check if our application is done, and let's reload. Yeah, there is some of the code which was used to create the application. I'll not show you the entire code, but I'll just show you some of the important bits. For example, the code that we used to handle if we look at the favorites design here, this button here, the delete button here, this is the delete button. What it uses is it uses a cool feature which I really enjoyed working with. It uses a function which is delete. It takes in a variable, you delete a certain line, and then you delete a certain URL which is fed in from the current row that you've selected. Now if you look at this implementation of the method which is responsible for this is the delete favorite one. Let's go to the implementation. This is the delete favorite. The implementation, it uses a lambda function, and it also uses link as well. So it's a very cool method. I like it. It uses a combination of link and a lambda function. Another cool feature that we might have to look at is this loading picture. You don't see this when you load in the picture, but if we view the code, for example the add, it uses thread management to allow the user to view the simulation in real time as the user is pressing the add button. So this is a cool feature which uses thread management as well, allowing the process to just run for 3 seconds and then setting the visibility of the picture box property to false after 3 seconds. So I think that will be just the core features I would love to share, but the entire code is available on GitHub. I'll provide a link if you're interested, and let me know if you need any information. Yeah.